Right.
Today we're talking about building the quietest centerfire rifle possible as cheaply as possible. Well, as is reasonable, I would say. But it's going to be awesome. Now I said reasonable. Not bottom of the barrel, not buying the least expensive Chinesium dog shit I can find. I mean a reasonably priced but decent quality budget build that's still going to be quiet. Oh yeah, and everything is also going to be US made because 4th of July is right around the corner. So I'm talking about my build, my picks in this video, but that doesn't mean that you can't go do something for less, get like a cheap Chinese optic, cheaper accessories, whatever. But I'm not sure you even have the option of getting a cheaper comparable rifle than the one we're using in this video. I'm going to talk about the rifle, the optics, the suppressor, and the random accessories I selected. Then we'll hit the range, but let's start with the gun. Gotta say, boys, I haven't been this excited about a rifle below a $500 price point since I could get as many Romanian AKs as I wanted for $300 each, new in the box in college. God, that's dating me. I'm an old piece of shit, you guys. I hate cheap guns. Totally true. I don't have a lot of time to spend on the range for fun, so I'd rather spend more money on something that I've always wanted, which could also pull double duty for personal defense or something. I just don't have as much fun shooting garbage tier guns the way that my masochist son, Hop, does. I think Zoomers believe existence is pain. And that proves true when you look at Hop's personal collection. You see what I mean? It hurts me to look at, and it's not even my stuff. I like 300 Blackout a lot. Having the ability to go from AK ballistics with an effective range of 300 to 400 meters, maybe even more, to ultra quiet suppressed performance inside of 100 meters just by changing magazines is real life David Copperfield gun shit. But if you want to maximize suppression, what do? You eliminate the action noise. The good news is the most common and the easiest way to eliminate action noise is by using a manual action. And I say good news because manual action means cheap. To illustrate this point, take one of your favorite semi-automatic rifles or pistols, rack the piss out of the action. I mean, just really rack that son of a bitch. It didn't shoot, but it was still pretty loud, right? Even just the action moving. Your mom probably even opened the basement door and asked what the hell you were doing. Just tell her you're watching porn and to make you some post-hub pizza rolls or something. But imagine that same action noise plus with the noise and hot gases coming out of every hole in the gun at the same time. Suppressors do a great job of handling noise headed downrange, but action noise still goes unchecked. And if you're shooting a semi-automatic, you've got gas coming out of the action. That'll be even worse when you're using a suppressor because of back pressure. Get a bolt action and boom, or should I say poof, problem solved. I did some searching and there are not many manual action 300 Blackout rifles out there. I've seen the H&R, the Handy rifle. I've seen the CVA Scout in single shot break open, but I'd rather get a back massage from my dad than dick around with a single shot at the range. For this video, I'm going with the Ruger American Ranch rifle. And even though I had some trouble with mine out of the box, today I'm going to tell you about why I think the Ruger American Ranch is a mandatory purchase if you own a 30 cal suppressor. Ruger's in a bit of a funny space. They certainly make high-end revolvers. They certainly make budget guns like the Security 9, which is fantastic, by the way. But most of their guns kind of fall in this middle ground space. They all perform very well, but they're also Spartan, very utilitarian when it comes to fit, finish, aesthetics. I'm trying to say that their guns work very well, but they're not going to win any beauty contests. That hasn't stopped Ruger. It's been a winning formula for them, and they're even a publicly traded company. So I can say I had no apprehensions whatsoever about purchasing the Ruger American Ranch bolt action and 300 Blackout for this video. I knew it was going to be cheap. I was pretty sure it was going to be good. And if I had a problem, Ruger's renowned customer service would probably take care of me. I certainly got to put that last part to the test for this video, but we'll get there in just a sec. So what is the Ruger American Ranch? That's a great question. It could be a rifle or a pistol or a semi-auto or a bolt action as far as you know, because Ruger for some reason just loves calling its guns the American or the Ranch, with at least 3 guns that I can think of, pistols and rifles, using American or Ranch in the title. So is it a little confusing? Maybe a little corny? Well, if you don't like it, you can get the hell out, buddy, because this is God and Bill Ruger's country. Now say 5 pledges of allegiance and do as many reps as possible of rapid fire saluting towards your nearest flag. The American's a bolt action, interchangeable magazine fed rifle, which just gives me goosebumps to say. Bolt actions can be fun to shoot, but there's something super lame about using fixed 5-round magazines, especially when you load them from the top. If I want to throw a 60-round drum on this son of a bitch, I should be able to do it. I'm a grown man. I don't let my mom tell me when I'm going to bed. I don't let my woke doctor tell me that binge drinking and hard drugs are unhealthy. And I don't like gun companies telling me how much ammo I can stuff in one of my guns. And that's what's so awesome about the Ruger American. It takes standard AR-15 magazines, as you can see here, and if you don't know much about 300 Blackout, you can use 300 Blackout ammunition in plain old AR-15 magazines, although there are manufacturers like Magpul and I think Lancer that make optimized 300 Blackout mags. And I'm virtually positive that the Ruger American just uses a standard AR-15 mag release button, as you see here. It comes threaded from the factory in 5/8 by 24, which is the standard pitch for almost every 30 cal suppressor. It's got a factory installed 1-piece Picatinny scope base and an adjustable trigger from 3 to 5 pounds. Mine came with about a 5-pound pull out of the box. It's got a 16-inch cold hammer forged barrel. I know I've raved about cold hammer forged barrels on this channel before, but cold hammer forging is a way of ensuring accuracy, durability, and long barrel life. The barrel is literally shaped, hammered, from a chunk of steel instead of like just drilled out. It's typically reserved for expensive AR-15s and of all things, very common in imported AK-47s, but it's surprising to find a hammer forged barrel on a budget bolt action. The FDE stock, I think, looks great. It doesn't feel luxurious or anything, but it's not bad either. Some people do hate it because it is a little plasticky. Magpul makes a stock for the American, which is actually the tits, but it costs $300, and that's right on the edge of maybe not being worth it. I mean, a $300 stock and a $500 rifle, I guess I would. Speaking of, Ruger claims that the bedding in the factory stock free floats the barrel, which will give it good accuracy even if you're resting on a bipod or a barricade. It weighs 5.9 pounds empty, which is pretty light for a 30 cal gun, and it's got an overall length of 36 inches, reasonably handy. Working the bolt at home feels pretty good, but that's off the range. There are, of course, some machining marks on the bolt, but remember the $500 price tag, and maybe forget about the machining marks. For 300 black bolt actions, this seems like the way to go. You're not going to find a quieter, less expensive mag-fed option than this, probably not even close. So I emailed Ruger and I asked him if I could get a T&E copy. I outfitted mine with a Leupold Mark III HD. This is a bit of a controversial pick because at $500 street price, it costs as much as the gun. But I usually don't like to skimp on glass. I really hate cheap optics. They make shooting not fun. They're great options from Vortex, Bushnell, Burris, whatever, but I like the Leupold for several reasons. First, since I'm primarily using this for subsonics, I don't think I need more than 4x magnification. I'm not shooting that far. So I went for 4x and I took a lighter and cheaper option than say a 6x or an 8x. The 3HD is also 13 ounces with a 30mm tube for great light transmission. I've always found Leupold's glass to be clear and durable. It's waterproof, it's shockproof, it's fogproof, so on. And it's made in the US lifetime warranty. I was a little bit tempted by the 1-inch tube VX3HD, which is a 1 to 5x, which is only 10 ounces. But the 3HD had other features that I liked more than the VX3HD. They cost about the same, so I guess just see which one you like better, compare them on the website. I say I probably could have used that extra X of magnification with the VX though. I had some very low rings already lying around for the setup, and I went with the lowest possible amount since I wasn't going to be shooting long distance with 300 Blackout. So I wanted to keep my line of sight and my bore axis as close as possible. Finally, for the suppressor, I went with the dead air primal from Silencer Shop. You might be saying, James, that's an odd choice. The primal's a 458 caliber can. In theory, you could get a tighter 30 cal can from just about anybody that would probably be cheaper and quieter. Firstly, you might be right, but I don't like your tone of voice. Yes, you could go with a budget can from Silencer Shop like the $499 Yankee Hill Resonator, which I think is great. Hell, you can make your own can on a Form 1 if you want to. And yes, the 30 cal cans with a diameter that more closely matches the bore size will likely perform better with 300 black than this 458 can. But for our budget build, I like spending the extra $269 on the primal because it's lightweight and it's versatile, meaning I can use the primal on just about anything from 22 all the way up to 458, including 9mm or even 45 ACP handguns if I want to. So in a way, buying one great can to rule them all versus buying even two cheap cans saves you a lot of money in the long run. A dedicated 30 cal can would be a better performer for sure, but as you can hear, or I'm sorry, can't hear from this video, the performance is excellent anyways with the primal. For other accessories, it really doesn't need much. I outfitted it with a Harris bipod for the first time I visited the range, and I used my favorite Blue Force gear Vickers sling here for the second outing. Either configuration is great, but I think I enjoyed actually going without the bipod and shooting with the sling support instead. It was a little bit more challenging, but also a little bit handier while still performing pretty well. All said and done with the total build, rifle, optic, sling, suppressor, and an empty magazine, it became a little bit of a sweaty hog at 8.8 pounds, but considering all the crap on it, that's not bad. It's just amazing how the weight adds up. Now let's get to the range review. This might be the most complete review you see of the Ruger American Ranch on YouTube because we got to test everything, including customer service. Come on, you. Come on. I don't know what the First time we brought it out to the range, strangely enough, it shot supersonic ammo just fine, but with the ammo incorporated stealth, or as we were calling it based on the box, stealth ammo, the bolt would seize up pretty badly when chambering or extracting a round occasionally. And I mean badly, like trying to pull my shorts off after that Ana de Armas scene in No Time to Die. Not only does a seized bolt slow you down, not only does it take you off target, but it flat out pisses you off. I know you guys think that we get hand-picked guns, but we simply don't. I do whatever I can to make sure that we're treated like regular customers, including getting off-the-shelf guns, dealing with normal customer service. I sent this Ruger American rifle back with a shipping label provided by Ruger, and Ruger sent email updates to me along the way, including tracking whenever they shipped the gun back to my house. When I opened the gun, after I got it back, there was a straightforward worksheet in there that noted that bolt replaced, honed the chamber, after repair, firearm was function fired 20 rounds of Hornady without malfunction. Thank you for your support. So what happened the next time we took it out to the range? Ran just fine. In fact, it was fun as hell. We had no problems at all. While running the bolt on this gun is not as pleasant as, say, a high-end PRS gun, it does the trick and it works well enough. But I bet some break-in, some lubrication, and a little bit of practice would ease things up a bit. I was still very happy with it. The trigger's fine, the action's fine, the handling's great, and you'll actually piss away $100 at 300 Blackout before you even know it. In fact, with ammo prices being what they are today, I bet you'd save money on this combo, both building it and shooting it against an AR-15, because you're just going to have as much fun with less ammo burn. This gun's truly a budget build for a lot of reasons, but what about accuracy? Budget typically doesn't mean accuracy. We know Ruger, however, is capable of making pretty good precision rifles, like the Ruger Precision Rifle. I guess we're establishing that Ruger's really not good at coming up with names, but who cares when you have a reasonably priced precision rifle that can perform as well as guns 2 or 3 times the price like the Ruger precision rifle can. We initially shot the American Ranch at 100 yards, but we had a difficult time printing good groups. Now the issue here wasn't necessarily the gun, but our 4X optic. Don't get me wrong, accuracy was great, more than serviceable, minute of man, and I'm not sure I'd spend more on a scope or take lesser glass in order to get a 6X or an 8X, but I think the VX3 HD 5X was looking pretty good at that point. I would have liked the extra magnification. I like how handy and inexpensive this 1 to 4X optic is, but unfortunately you're not going to be able to punch clovers through paper with a 4X optic and a budget rifle at 100 yards. So we moved it up to 50 yards, and now we're talking. Ryan did best me this time with 5 rounds touching at 50 yards, while I had a 4-round group all touching and a 5th round maybe 1/10 of an inch outside that group. My first group here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like all within an inch right there. Ryan's first group, 1, 2, I mean all tight, stringing a little bit. My second group, 1, 2, 3, 4, all touching and a flyer, and then Ryan just shoots just about an effing perfect group there, like 5 rounds all in one hole. So yeah, we're shooting at 50 yards instead of 100. We're really limited by that 4X optic. Like we wouldn't be able to replicate this out at 100 yards or 200 yards, you know, because at that point you just can't see what the F you're shooting at. But with this 4X at 50 yards, you're a bad man. And I mean, you know, it's going to be reasonably accurate. It's going to be minute of man. With a 4X, you could probably, you know, go out to 200 yards comfortably with 300 Blackout and a 4X optic and still make, you know, like chest size hits. So, I mean, I'm really impressed with this gun for being a $500 gun. We were more than satisfied with this performance out of a Caldwell sandbag. If you remember, 1 MOA at 50 yards is approximately a 1/2 inch. So this is a sub MOA rifle at that distance, if not half MOA. We probably could have done even better had we lightened the trigger, but I went with the factory trigger weight, which I said was about 5 pounds. I would have loved to have tried it at its lightest 3-pound setting while we were out there. In conclusion, am I happy with this build? Yes, absolutely. Is it a budget gun? I mean, not really, but you guys get the concept. The concept is starting with the Ruger American and 300 Blackout for 500 bucks. I don't think you can do cheaper than that, and going from there. You can skimp on an optic if you want, you can skimp on or make your own suppressor if you want, skimp on accessories, hell, make a sling out of duct tape for all I care. Realistically, I bet you could clock in on a similar build at under $1,000 out the door and still have a pretty strong performer. But this was about as low budget as I was comfortable with. That doesn't mean you can't do something for a little bit less and get performance that you're happy with. I just hope this video helped set you in the right direction. Now, speaking of setting you in the right direction, if you want ammo, all of our ammo came from Ventura Munitions. They always have a really good supply of 300 Blackout. And if you want to try to pick up a Ruger American rifle, might I suggest that you check our sponsors at Top Gun Supply first. Top Gun Supply are awesome. They give away 4 guns a month to our subscribers on Utreon and Subscribestar. So go to Utreon, go to Subscribestar, look for TFBTV Crew, and if you sign up at the $5 level or higher, you are automatically entered every single month to win a free gun, one of 4 free guns from Top Gun Supply. Just check this link below, tfbtv.gun.team. You've got the full details there, but I just want to say thank you guys for watching. This is a fun video to make. Take care.